Well, hello there. Hi. Hey, everybody. How are we doing today? Hopefully, you are having a fantastic day. Hopefully, you got up, had some great breakfast, lunch, dinner, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're eating. Hopefully, it was Chef's Kiss Delicious. Hi, my name is Andrew Hockrottle. I am your host, guide, and I don't know, trail master. Over the next week, we are doing the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenges. We are on week 2 of our challenges, so if you missed them, I'll cover in just a second how you can go back and see the challenges before. We've got lots of friends in chat: Golden Rose, Andy, Jason, Zoe, Linda, JC, lots of friends in chat. And here's what I want, chat. As we get started, let's appreciate our friend Wade. Wade is our moderator for these challenges, so everyone just give Wade a hand. He's pretty great and he's pretty awesome and helps us function here and build our community. So let's go over what we're doing today, and what this is. If you're just joining us, you've never been here before, it's a great time to start. Hello, Amy Hood is here again. Hi, Amy. You just like tuning in all the time. Yeah, that makes me happy when I see friends in chat. So if you're a friend, say hi. So if you guys want to follow along, hello, I'm Andrew. You can follow right here, all the social medias. There's the button. That's my Vanna White. You can follow along on Behance, on Instagram, on Twitter, and I do go live on my personal Behance and live stream feedback for your challenges. We were just live this morning, so if you missed it, you can go back and watch that. Yes, Wade is wonderful. That's right, man. It's so great to see everyone appreciating Wade because he's great. So if you want to get involved, you can do so here, behance.net/challenge/illustrator. If you've missed challenges, you can scroll down and actually see what we've done in the past. Hey, Terry, nice to see you. So you can see, last week we did 4 challenges. This week we have 5 challenges. And you can watch the videos, you can catch up, and you can get the source files if you missed them last week. You also can get the source file for today. You don't really need it today because we are going to be building something from scratch. A lot of times I give you a base, but today we're going from scratch. It is week 2. You have leveled up your skills and you are equipped and ready to build from scratch. Now, something else that is coming up that you should be aware of is the end of the challenges. Oh, but at the end you can submit all of your challenges together on Behance. Post a project, show me everything that you've made, and use the hashtag AI Daily Challenge when you post it, and it will go into consideration to get featured here in the Best of Behance Creative Challenges gallery. Great exposure, great way to see and connect with other creatives, and also have your work noticed as you're learning and growing. I love to see the progress that you're making. It makes me happy to know that you are being more creative. That's what we need right now, is inject more creativity into the world. So that's what we're going to do today. The other way that you can get involved and join our awesome community, oh, I'm peaking very loud, I'm sorry about that, as you can go right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. That's our Discord, and that is where we are coming together, where we're all posting our work, and where I am giving you feedback. This morning I had my coffee, grabbed some toast, and we sat down and gave you some feedback on my personal Behance stream. But you can check out our Discord over here, and you can see people posting from last week. We've got some wanted posters with some faces on there. Super fun. So make sure if you are catching up on the challenges, you can post whenever you want here in the challenges tab. And we have a group of awesome mentors that will give you feedback, as well as me going live and giving you some feedback on the stream. All right. End of challenges or just this cycle? Oh yes, no, this is just this cycle. This is the last challenge forever. No, this is just the last of this cycle. I will be back, I believe, later on in the year doing another set. We are going to be doing a creative replay over the next 2 weeks. If you want to try again, if you want to follow and catch up, there is going to be a replay after this for the next 2 weeks. So that's about all my time that I have for announcements, right? We usually have about 5 minutes for announcements. Try to keep it down, try to keep it moving along. And today we are going to be creating something very exciting, very fun, working with some perspective tools, working with outer glows, working with offset paths. So it's going to be a great time. Stay tuned. And if you've never been here, we are doing a Western theme. We are having a lot of fun with it. And you know that we got to have some fun. So let's roll that beautiful bean footage. I hit the wrong button, dang it. Ah. All right, let's try this transition one more time. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. And yes, if you were on the stream, I did tell you that I was going to use that joke. You were warned. All right, let's go ahead and hop in. We are doing the Western theme, so we are here in the saloon. And one of the things that I always think about when I think of Westerns is going to this theme park by us called Knott's Berry Farm. It's a theme park that has like a Western village, or even going to like a carnival. The thing that I always think about is like the like break a plates like target range, right? Where you get the like little ball and you like try to throw it and hit down the target. So today we're going to be building a target range. We're going to work with perspectives and scaling to maybe show how we can have some distance as we work with things. Also, okay, here's my secret. This is for free. This is not related to the creative challenge at all. When you're playing those games, if you need to break the plates or you need to hit the targets, instead of throwing like a baseball, throw like a dart. You'll hit it every single time. Way easier than trying to power through. Just throw it like a dart and you can break those plates and win every time. All right, that's my secret. Let's go ahead. Hey, Alex Lazarus is here. Yo, Alex Lazarus, one of my favorite designers. Amazing, amazing designer. Really cool guy. He is on with Nick Longo, I believe, later this month. So keep an eye out for that. All right. I've talked too much. Let's go ahead and hop in to our challenge today. Today we are illustrating a playful hit the targets game using icons, offset paths, glow effects, and perspective techniques. Step right up, win a prize. Let's go ahead and grab M, which is the rectangle tool, and we're just going to draw a nice little sky back here. No perspectives, just starting with the sky. And then we're going to do something that is object and lock. That is going to lock the selection into the background so we can no longer mess with it. Now, I'm going to show you a couple techniques to do perspectives, right? So again, there's no wrong way to do things in Illustrator, just different ways. So I'm going to show you how to scale as well as use the perspective tool. Now, the first thing I want to do is make a little deck. And this will allow us maybe to have a spot where you can step up to. So when we're thinking about this, I definitely want it to be a darker brown. And I'm thinking about basically rectangles that are stacked that have a little bit of a slant, right? Because really when we look at things that are at perspective, a lot of times they're just rectangles that have a little slant to it, right? If we look from the top, it is just a rectangle. If we look from the other side, there's a rectangle on the front as well. So we're just going to click and drag holding Alt or Option to make a copy of this. And I'm going to make it a little bit taller. So making it a little bit taller will allow me to play with that perspective a little bit and make it look like it's stretching into the background. Now we're going to make the top a little bit lighter. Again, we're just trying to create some dimension, and this makes it look like the front is maybe darker and the light is coming in from the top. And yes, Wade, it is that Alex Lazarus. Everyone click on that Instagram, go follow Alex and give him, I don't know, like a purple heart emoji in one of his projects. All right, so, and playing with depth maps, ooh, fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the line tool, and I'm just going to do some lines on the deck. Now this is a different way to do perspective than you probably have learned. We're going to add a stroke to this, just going to do a little 2-point stroke here. And we're going to position this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag holding Shift and Alt or Option. And what that's going to do is it's going to move it just a certain amount. And now what I want to do is I am going to hit Command D, and that will do it again. So we're basically telling Illustrator what we just did, let's do it again. So we're just going to click that. I'm actually just going to hold it all the way across, and now we have some nice lines. And here's where it gets a little bit tricksy. What we're going to do is instead of doing a perspective, instead of trying to bend it, watch what we can do here. We can grab the Direct Selection tool. And with the direct selection tool, we are going to select just the top part of these, okay? So just the top parts. And instead of moving them in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale them. So you can do this with perspective tools, but I want to show you how to do it with a scale. So with just the top parts selected, we are going to scale this whole thing down. So we're going to hit S, which is scale, and then hit Enter. And by hitting that, what it's going to do is it's going to scale it backwards, but it's just scaling those top points, right? It's taking those top points and scaling them backwards. So I don't think we want that much. So let's maybe take it to 80%. And you'll see that it's just starting to give us a little bit of that deck, which is pretty much what we want. Let's do 75 and see how that looks. So hit OK. And there we go. So it's just scaling the top points, and that allows it to look like it's kind of falling backwards. All right, let's continue on. Next, we are going to add another little rectangle right here. And this rectangle is basically going to be the front of our little throwing gallery. Yeah, I know. I know. That is a trick that blew my mind when I learned how to do it. But I was like, this is such a different way to do this, but it works so well. So we're just going to add a little stroke on here. I'm going to line that stroke to the inside. And now we have a front panel. Looks great. So what we want to do now is I'm actually going to build the outer box, and then we'll build into that box using the perspective tool. We won't use the scale tool for that. I'll show you how to do it on the perspective tool as well. So we're just going to drag up another box, and this will be pretty much the entirety of our kind of background. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this lighter, and that's something that you can do with perspective to make things look like they're going backwards, make they look like they're going forwards. You can simply create lighter colors, right? Lighter would be all the back, and then darker would be on the front. And yes, people are freaking out about the scale. I love that. It is a really great trick. It makes me very, very happy. So let's continue on, and I'm going to show you a different way to do it that you aren't going to like as much because the other one was such a hit. But we're going to make it so that there are shelves here, right? We want to add some perspective to create some shelves. So what we can do is we could just select these two, right, top points, grab the scale tool, and you can see as I drag that in, you can see the perspective happening with the scale tool. So you can very easily just be like, boom, done, and make that shelf, which I believe that we probably want to be closer to this color. So very easy to do that, but we're not going to do it that way. We're going to try something new. We are going to grab this shape right here. And with the whole, where's the hotkey box? I like that. Oh, you know what? Here, I got you. Hold please. Hold please. Wait. Okay, let's go to the Discord. There we go. Actually, right here. So this is Discord. Make sure that you sign up for our Discord. You get connected in the place that you need to be. And that is where everyone is. And that's where everyone's talking. That's where you will submit all of your challenges. And let's go back to the challenge. There we go. All right, got it. So the hotkeys that we have been using, we're using M right here to grab the rectangle tool. And today we are going to grab this, and now we're going to try a different way. So we're going to hover over here. Right underneath the scale tool is the perspective tool. So we're going to click on that, and it's really the transform tool, but there's perspective hidden in here as well. So using this, we are actually going to click the second option here, and this is going to perspective transform, and you'll see that we're going to lose a lot of our anchor points. And what this does is as we pull one side, it's going to make it pull that perspective, right? So if we grab this and pull it upwards, you'll see that it's making the perspective so that this is coming toward us, right? So if we want to, we can pull this in on the top, and it's going to create that perspective, right, that looks like it is now flat, right? So it's creating that perspective for us by just using that tool. Again, you can scale those two anchor points. It does pretty much exactly the same thing, but this is a different way to do it. So from there, again, we're just going to keep building this up, and we're just going to drag out boxes. Make sure these boxes overlay just a little bit. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because you guys can kind of just repeat these steps and it will continue on. But we are going to continue on and build out some offset paths. Offset path is another thing that is very important. And I'll do the other way just so you guys can see that it pretty much does do exactly the same thing. Grab these top two anchor points right here, and we're going to scale them back. Cool. So now we have two little shelves that we can put things on, and I'm going to show you how to make some targets. So check this out. What we're going to do is we are going to make some targets by making some circles. And if you're unfamiliar, offset path is basically something that will say, take all of these points that we have and then move them by a certain amount, right? So let's do this. Let's make a little circle, and this circle we're going to bring over to the side here. This circle, we're just going to make a red circle. So we're going to make it a red stroke, and we are going to set that to the outside. So now we have a circle. You can probably see where we're going here to make a little target. We want to take this circle and move it out by a certain amount of pixels. So let's go to Object, Path, and Offset Path. Now that's going to bring up this window, and you can see here, right, that you have different paths. So we're going to pull this up and move it by 20 pixels. So it's taking all those paths and moving them outward by 20 pixels. If you go negative, it will move them inward, but right now we're going to move them outward and hit OK. So now we have an awesome little target. We're going to go ahead and hit L for the ellipse tool and drag out a little white box. Nope, hit it wrong. There we go. We're going to send that backward using those hotkeys there. And we're just going to group all of this together. And now we have a nice little target. All right, so let's get a little bit crazier. Let's try to make an icon using simple shapes. And the thing that I always think about when I think about these things is like a duck, right? That you have like those little ducks that always like go along the thing. And yes, offset path is the best. I believe that Amy showed me a trick with it at one point, and I've forgotten what it was. But there was something that was like being able to select things. It was super helpful, and I forgot. I'm sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and try to build out just a quick little duck using simple shapes. If we think about it, the duck's head is really just a little circle. And his body, that's right, it's just an oval. So it's an oval with maybe an extra little tail on the end. And that tail we can probably make out of 2 circles. So we're just going to use that ellipse tool. We're going to make 1 circle and then another one and maybe scale it up. And a great way to see what you're making when you're going to work with the shape builder tool and kind of cut things out is to hit Command Y. And that's going to show you the intersections. And we're just paying attention to this area, right? We just want the overlap. So then what we can do is select these 2. We're going to go over to the pathfinder, and again, we're going to punch out the top shape out of the bottom shape. So we hit that, and now we just have that nice little tail there for our little rubber ducky. So cute. And we're going to add in an eye. Now what we can do is we're going to make this eye white, right? So we have the whites of the eyes. And with that, we do want a pupil. So what we're going to do again is Object, Path, Offset Path. And this can go into the negative. So I want to show you what it looks like to go negative. If we go to -4, you can see that it's now scaling inward with that shape, right, instead of outward. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to add in a nice little eye there, and then we will use a triangle. Let's grab the polygon tool over here and just do a 3-sided polygon. And that's going to be a little beak. There we go. Got a little duck. Let's do orange for the beak. Cool. So we've got a tiny little duck that kind of looks like a chicken, but we're going to roll with it. We just did it really quick. And what we're going to do here is we are actually going to grab all of the shapes here. So we're going to click and drag using the selection tool. We're going to grab all of these shapes, and I'm going to Command C to copy, and then Command Shift V to paste in place. So now there is a copy sitting on top. You can see now there's 2 of them. It's just pasted it exactly where the other one was. We're going to use the Pathfinder tool to just merge all of those down. So now that we have one shape, right? Just one shape. And we're doing this so that then I can augment and play around with creating kind of that outline that you would see if it was on maybe a metal plate. So I'm going to send this backwards. Doot, doot. There we go. And we're going to go to Object, Path, Offset Path. And you'll see that we want it to go to the outside here. So we want it on the outside, a nice little kind of white border, which we'll change in a second. But it looks like some things are getting a little wonky, right? It feels too sharp for me. Yes, it is a chuckin. It is a duck chicken. Oopsies. Oh gosh. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this from meter, which is pointed, to round. And what that's going to do is it's going to round out these edges. So it makes it a little more soft. It makes it a little more metal. So it looks like it's finding that edge. Now, if we do leave it on meter, it is going to create sharp points. We can actually take this down and it will cut off those points for us. But really what I like to do is just change it to round, or we can change it to bevel and it's going to cut those edges. So we're going to go to round and hit OK. And then I'm simply going to make this white. So now we've got a nice little offset path. We've got a nice little target for us to aim at. And we're going to come back here. We're going to select this white and go to Effects, Stylize, and Outer Glow. And Outer Glow, we are going to leave that, just a subtle outer glow. And you can see now that it's starting to look like it's a little target that we can throw. So we're going to grab this guy, and we're going to start working here to put him on our little perspectives. And what we're going to do is we're going to use scale to show perspective. What we can do is we are going to make a couple copies of this guy. So let's do a couple of these here. And we are going to then put another row on top. And to create this other row, we're just going to click and drag holding Alt or Option. And if you think about it, perspective, when it's further away, things look smaller. So we can use scale, which is right here, or hit S for the scale tool. And we are going to click and drag, and that's going to make it a little bit smaller. So we still want it to be at the same area, but we're going to click and drag to make those a little smaller. Same thing here. We're just going to make some large targets. Oh, this is a little secret. So if you scale and it looks weird, it's because you have scaling of your stroke turned off. Go ahead and hit Control K. And then you are going to go to Scale, Strokes, and Effects right here. And that will help you scale so that as we scale up, all of our strokes and effects are going to scale as well. So I'll make a copy here. And then again, we just want to scale this down so that it sits perfectly at that little size. Move that over. So now if we zoom out, you can see we have a nice little target range, and the only thing that we need to do is add in some extras for the roof. And again, we're going to just grab the same thing that is down here, grab these two, and just scale up. And then very easily grab the pen tool. And this is kind of cheating, but you can try to match it up. Sometimes just grab the pen tool and connect all the edges. And then we have a nice little throwing range, little target range to connect those two. So we'll just add that right there, a little bit off on perspective, but we're close. There we go, locked in. So this is how we're going to create our range today. I want you guys to try to work with perspectives, try to create something that looks like it is going backward and that it has objects that are scaling backwards so that you can show exactly kind of the depth there. So yes, pro tip, yes. So play around with those, use the scaling points tool. A lot of you liked that, so play around with that, but then also incorporate the perspective transform tool right over here. Using that tool, again, you can select one, and up here it is the second one down on that option list. So let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule for the rest of the day. Coming up next, we have some friends that are creating, there we go, Catherine Lowe is doing some mobile app design. So stick around for that coming up at 12 right after this. I'm glad that you guys, why is the pen tool cheating? It's not cheating. Like, you just could do that with perspective. What I showed you, you could do with perspective. So stick around, and then Andrea Epia with the XD challenge, as well as a creative encore with Voodoo Val and Jetpacks and Roller Skates. One of my favorites. Love Jetpacks and Roller Skates. Really, really awesome illustrator. So make sure you stick around for that. And again, this is your challenge. Make sure that you complete it and then post here on our Bitly. This is our Discord. We will be doing feedback again, probably tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning. We'll do a little coffee session. It's a date. And we'll hang out and give you some feedback. If you did miss this challenge or you're just tuning in right now, or you need the source file, you can go to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Wade will drop the link for you there, so you can simply click and then watch the video right here of an illustrated scene, or you can click Get Started to grab that source file. So thanks for joining me. It's been super, super fun today. Again, one of my favorite things, make sure you play around both with the perspective tool as well as the scaling tool, because in theory, we could take one of these shapes and use this perspective tool and just pull it in a little bit, and we could get some perspective on that piece as well. So it like pulls it into the background. So play around with perspectives. It is hard to match them up. Don't worry about getting them perfect. You can worry about that later. Just understand how the tool works and play around and create this nice little range. And I'm excited to see what you come up with. I will see you all tomorrow, again, 11:30 a.m. for our next daily creative challenge. I believe tomorrow we are doing maybe a scene and maybe another custom brush. So we'll play around with those. It's going to be a blast, and I will see you then. Let's hit the trail. See you tomorrow.